Okay, our monster book today is called Where the Wild Things Are.
That's a big monster.
That is a big monster. Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Well, he's a wild thing.
It's a bull, right?
He does kind of look like a bull. His head does kind of look like a bull. You're right.
Because he has horns.
He does have horns. Yeah. Let me open it up big so you can see. What else do you see besides the wild thing? A boat. Uh-huh.
A lake.
A lake maybe, or an ocean.
A tree.
Trees. Uh-huh. When a bunch of trees are together like that, it's called a forest. Can you say forest? Forest. So there's a forest of trees.
I see some flowers.
Yes. I do see. You see some flowers? Yes, right there. I said yes. I said yes. You can go to the restroom. But you need to walk around that way. Don't walk in front of the iPad. Go that way. Thank you. Okay, so let me tell you something special about this book. I've had this book a really long time. This was my book when I was like 4 or 5 years old, like you. So I've had this book for a very long time, and I'm sad to say that I wrote in it, which you're not supposed to write in books, are you? No, so I should not have done that. But,
Who's your author?
oh yes, hang on. I was just about to tell you though, my mommy used to read this book to me. And so now I get to read it to you. My author and my illustrator. So he did the words and the pictures. His name is Maurice Sendak. So he did both. And we're going to find out where the wild things are. Now there's a little boy in this story. And the little boy's name is Max. This is Max. He is wearing a crown on his head, yes. And there are some wild things there.
I see a bull.
He does look like a bull with those horns, but I promise you he's not a bull. He's a wild thing. The night Max wore his wolf suit, so Max is dressed up like a wolf.
Or what?
I guess he just wanted to, and he made mischief of one kind. Okay, mischief, that's kind of a strange word. Does anybody know what that means? Okay, if he's making mischief, he is being naughty. Do you know what it means if you're being naughty?
No.
You're not making good choices, you're being bad, you're not doing what you were supposed to.
No, he's standing on.
Yes, he's standing on a bunch of books. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
So he was being naughty. He was being bad. He was making mischief of one kind and another. What's he doing here?
He's scaring the dog.
He's scaring the dog. Yeah, that's not very nice. So guess what happened? He got in trouble. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So his mother sent him to bed without eating anything. He talked back to his mom, so she sent him to his room, and he didn't get to have dinner. She told him to go to your room and go to bed. So that's what he did. But that very night, in Max's room, a forest started to grow. And what did we say a forest was? A bunch of what? Trees. Yeah, you see it's starting to grow in his room. A forest. It grew and grew.
No bed.
I know, it doesn't look like his bedroom anymore, does it?
It looks like
And grew until the ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around.
his room turned into
His room turned into a forest, and an ocean tumbled by with a private boat just for Max, and he sailed off through the night and the day. So there was the ocean, and he got in a sailboat, and off he
Still
went.
his wolf costume.
He is still in his wolf costume, you're right. He sailed in and out of weeks and almost over a year to the place where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars. So I need you to roar for me. Can you do that? Very nice. And they gnashed their terrible teeth. So you can pull down and show me your teeth. Okay, put it back up. And they rolled their terrible eyes. Do you know how to roll your eyes? And then they showed their terrible claws. Let me see your claws. So they were roaring and they were showing their teeth and everything. Do you think Max is going to be scared? No? I probably would be scared,
Me too.
but guess what? Max is not scared. Max said, "Be still." And he tamed them with a magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes. He stared at all of them and he told them to be still. And they were scared of Max. And they called him the most wild thing of all.
The werewolf.
And guess what they did?
What?
They made him king of all the wild things. They were scared of Max. They made him king. They gave him a crown.
And I want big bag.
And he's going to tell them what to do. Now he's in charge. He says, "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus begin." And that's another silly word, rumpus,
I see the monster
from the front. So what that means is they're going to have a wild party. Max says, "All right, it's time to party." So they were dancing. And they were swinging from the trees. Yep, Max is swinging from the trees too, isn't he? Now, Max is a wild thing just like them. And it's like they're having a parade. He's riding on his back, he sure is. "Now stop," said Max, and he sent all the wild things off to bed without their dinner. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely. What does that mean if you What does it mean if you're lonely?
You're sad.
You're sad, yeah. He wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Where do you think he wants to be? At home, right? Then, all around from far away across the world, Max smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of the wild things. He told them he didn't want to be king anymore, and the wild things said, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." But Max said, "No." Well, the wild things roared their terrible roars. Can you roar? And they gnashed their terrible teeth. And they rolled their terrible eyes, and they showed their terrible claws. But Max just stepped into his boat, and he sailed away. He sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day, right back into the very night of his own room, where he found his dinner was waiting for him. Mom brought his dinner to him, and it was still hot. All right, wild things. What did you think? Did you like Max's story? Yes. So why did his mommy send him to his room? Well, he was being naughty. Yeah. And then what happened in his room? It turned into a forest and everything. And where did he go?
In the forest.
He was in the forest?
And
And he went to where the wild beasts, where the wild things are? And they made him what? King of all the wild things. Did he want to stay there forever, though? No. Yeah. Where did he want to go? Home. Why do you think he wanted to go back home?
Because he wants to eat dinner.
He wanted to eat his dinner, yeah.
And love his mom.
He probably missed his mom. He loves his mom. He wanted to go back home, yes.
He's going to eat it, right?
Yeah, I bet you he was going to eat his dinner. Absolutely. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do at school is we're going to draw, go ahead, Stephen. We're going to draw in our journals. So we're going to draw anything we want. We can draw wild things. We could draw Max. We could draw stuff for Halloween since it's almost Halloween. We can draw anything we want. So kids at home, I want you to draw anything you would like. So you can just find some paper and draw some pictures. And hopefully, kids at home, all the kids at school, I sent the kids at home a video of you showing them your monsters that you made yesterday. And I have one picture of a monster of a kid that a kid drew at home, and I'll show it to you in just a little bit. So kids at home,
It's a boy.
draw for it. Yeah, it was a little boy. Josiah drew a picture of a monster, so I'll show it to you in just a little bit. So we're going to draw here, and y'all can draw at home too.
Josiah.